Justice Kavanaugh?
I want to make sure you have a chance to summarize the evidence as you see it of why Charleston County was split the way it was split.
Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh. So first of all, it was done for political reasons because, of course, it was part and parcel of achieving the political goal district-wide. The most significant move that the enacted plan made was in Charleston County. It moved the West Ashley neighborhood from District 1 to District 6. That was over 80,000 of the 140,000 people that were moved from District 1 to District 6. West Ashley is a close-in suburb of Charleston. It is majority Democratic, but also predominantly white. We've given the figures in our brief that show that that move in particular had a much greater impact on the political composition of District 1 than its racial composition. So that move, which is over half of the people involved, is itself more easily explained by politics than by race. The line in Charleston County actually improved compliance with traditional districting principles compared to the benchmark plan. The benchmark plan had 5 split VTDs in Charleston County. The enacted plan fixed all of those. The enacted plan also followed natural geographic boundaries in Charleston County, such as rivers, which are very significant methods of transportation and commerce in a county like Charleston that's coastal. It also achieved Senator Campson's policy goal, which was to keep 2 representatives in Charleston County to represent the county's interests here in Washington, D.C.
Why don't you explain that a little more?
So Senator Campson testified on direct that he loves having Jim Clyburn represent a portion of Charleston County because Congressman Clyburn is one of the most powerful Democrats in the Congress. And what Senator Campson explained is that Joe Biden wouldn't be president if it weren't for Congressman Clyburn. So of course he wants Congressman Clyburn representing the interests of his home county of Charleston. But he also wanted to keep a Republican representative there too in case there's a change in administration here in Washington. Congressman Clyburn's own draft map kept a split in Charleston County because he wanted to keep a portion of Charleston County in his district as well.
What was the black voting population in District 1 in that map?
It was only 15.48%, which is lower than where it ended up under the enacted plan by more than a point.
Justice Barrett?
I have a question about Dr. Ragosa's expert report. I just want to make sure that I understand because the circumstantial evidence is what the plaintiffs relied on and the whole issue is disentangling race and partisanship. I understood your brief to say, but you haven't said this yet that I heard, so I want to make sure I understand it correctly, that he did not take into account factors like contiguousness and compactness, and so he was assuming that you could have essentially kind of an island cut off in the middle of the district that would have more black voters, which would obviously then not be contiguous. Am I misunderstanding that?
That's correct for his county envelope analysis, yes. Okay. And what he also didn't do is the other piece of that is control or test for traditional principles. That's on page 197 of the joint appendix. And what we mean by that is it would be possible to draw different lines for District 1 in counties. Take Charleston County or Dorchester, which are both split. But if you want to go out and grab that other VTD, you have to make trade-offs elsewhere. Because if you're changing the shape of the district or picking up additional population from other VTDs, you have to offset that somewhere else. And so what a properly done analysis does, as this court recognized in Allen, would test whether the decisions that were made are more or less consistent with traditional principles than the decisions the expert is proposing. And Dr. Ragusa doesn't do that here because he doesn't control for traditional principles like contiguity. And his analysis is different than the analysis that was done, and this court credited in Cooper, because of the thing I mentioned before about his regression analysis, using only an average political number rather than the actual political number in each VTD.
And how much of a point did you make of that in the district court?
We raised a lot of objections to Dr. Ragusa and his methodology in the district court.